Hello, my beautiful feather tribe. Welcome or welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen and I am an empath as well as an intuitive tarot reader here on YouTube. I hope that you're all doing well and that you are excited for this reading because we are going to be looking at the positive changes that are going to be coming into your love life next. So the way that this reading is going to go, I'm just going to quickly walk you through it. We are first going to have a look at what your love life has been like up to this point and also what it's kind of like now. What is the general energy and state of your love life as it is right now? And then we're going to focus on what positive changes you can expect to come into your love life next. And we're going to dive even deeper with some tarot cards and we're going to see how those changes will affect you in the short term and what they will bring in the long term. And finally, we're going to close the reading out, as always, with some messages and insightful advice from Spirit regarding your love life. So what the universe wants you to know about your love life. And that's the gist of today's reading. So keeping it kind of nice and simple, but we have quite a few cards to go through. The stacks are quite big. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it, probably not, but they are quite huge. So yeah, we better crack on. But the piles go as follows. We're starting from the left, moving towards the right. So for pile number 1, we have this unrefined amethyst, which you probably can't see very well because I have the focus set specifically to this one state. So anyway, I don't know why I tried to show you closer. Never mind. Don't mind me. For pile 2, we have the rose quartz. For pile 3, we have green opal. And for pile 4, we have carnelian. Sorry, couldn't see it. Carnelian. So those are the piles that you get to choose from. As always, take a nice deep breath, take a few if you need to, close your eyes if that helps you tune everything out, and really feel into your body, feel into this present moment, become mindful, become aware. And when you feel a certain nudge, a certain inkling, when you hear something, when you see something, when you just know when something pops into your mind and you know that that's the pile that you need to choose, then go ahead, go down into the description box, click on the timestamp that you need and jump to your reading, okay? But that's that. So happy choosing and I will see you in just a bit. Hello, pile number 1. You chose this unrefined amethyst, which is really, really cool because you can see the formations. But anyway, we are not here for the gemstone, we are here for the reading itself. So I first want to say thank you to all of you who have been watching my readings, coming back to my channel, leaving me comments, leaving me likes, just giving me feedback in general and just being here. That means so much to me. So thank you so very much for doing that. But having said that, let's jump straight into... Let me see, I need to separate the cards here. Let's jump straight into your reading. So we are first going to start off with the overview of your love life as it has been and as it is right now. So let's see whether you resonate with this part. Okay, so we have imprisonment coming out first. I'm gonna have to see how the layout plays out. We also have self-reflection. We have trust. We have truth. Wow. We also have chaos and conflict. Creation. And poverty. Wow. So pile number 1, I am getting 2 very distinct, separate scenarios. The first one is that you are currently in a relationship and you may be feeling like it's kind of following the same pattern that you have already seen in the past, and you're noticing a lot of similarities and a lot of distressing signs, red flags, things like that. And you're really sort of contemplating, deeply analyzing this relationship, the way that this offers you positive feelings, the way that it makes you feel like something is missing, all that kind of stuff. That's the first scenario. And the second scenario that I'm feeling is that you have possibly been single, you are single right now, and you possibly have been single for quite a long time, whether it is actually in terms of years or whether it's just a long time for you personally. And at this time, you are trying to learn and adapt and progress and develop and grow and enhance yourself, and also the relationship dynamics that you hope to have in the future, so that you wouldn't repeat the same patterns and the same mistakes, and you wouldn't get into the types of relationships that always seem to end up the same way moving forward. And so those are the two distinct scenarios that I'm feeling. So whether you are in the first batch and you are actually in a relationship with someone right now, but it's not actually a very dreamy relationship, or whether you are in the second batch and you are single, but you're trying to work on yourself, you're trying to make sense of why the past has played out the way that it has, and are working on making yourself better. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say better, but I feel like you're working on yourself to ensure that you have better relationship experiences in the future. Either way, there is definitely some deep reflection going on. And the first thing that I actually noticed when I was looking at these cards were all of the stars, the starry sky. So obviously the first one in the middle here with this truth, we see the starry sky here. We have this starry sky on the trust card, we have the stars here on the self-reflection card, and we have this massive like galactic star imagery on this creation card as well. And stars to me are all about direction, guidance, hope, but also clarity. Finding that divine insight and wisdom as to what your path or trajectory is. Getting some answers. That's what divination and astrology is all about, right? Trying to seek some answers, trying to make sense of who we are, why we are the way that we are, and what we are meant to be doing, what would be in alignment with our soul and our soul's path. So that's kind of like the bigger picture of your situation, pile one. That's what I feel like. But in order not to mix these messages up too much and make it way too complicated for me and for you, I'm just going to focus on the energy that I'm feeling from these cards and describing what you are going through right now and what you have been going through in the past. And I will leave it up to you to adjust those messages to your personal circumstances. So again, make it fit if you are in the first batch and you are in a relationship, or whether you are single and you are looking back on past relationships, okay? I will leave that up to you. I feel like the main issue when it comes to relationships for you is having a deep, intimate, trusting, vulnerable connection with someone. I feel like it's kind of either difficult or very triggering for you to get into that space, because maybe past experiences have taught you that when you are vulnerable, when you do open up to someone and you express your true feelings, you express your true needs, your expectations or hopes from or of the relationship, it always ends up going sour somehow, or either people have taken advantage of it, or they have not really given you what you need, or they haven't paid too much attention to it. They haven't made too much of an effort to meet your needs, to take care of your needs, to show up for you in the way that you need them to show up. So it always like brings you back to the same position where you feel emotionally starved. You have to keep asking for someone to give you affection, or you have to keep asking for someone to show their feelings to you, to just show up for you. Even if they maybe say things, even if they are able to come up with words that are nice to hear, I feel like they haven't really matched the action part. They haven't really matched the behavior of that person. And so it feels like every single time you kind of end up right back at the same arguments, the same issues, the same patterns. It always just ends up going round and round and round. And so I feel like you do have a hard time trusting other people, believing what they say to you, unless they show you or unless they back it up with action. And I feel like it's a very difficult place to be in, because then the way it ends up like manifesting, or the way that these situations end up going, is that you are always the one who expects something from the other person, or who always has some sort of demands. And again, that may feel like you are too clingy, or that you are asking too much, or you are too needy. And like, I feel like those types of things are the main causes for the arguments that you get into, or that you have gotten into in the past as well, where you are expressing your needs, you are talking about what you are feeling that is missing or lacking from the relationship, what you would like to see more of from your partner, and what you are sort of willing to do on your part. But I feel like it almost feels one-sided more than anything, or it almost feels like even if the other person agrees, or even if the other person, like if the conflict or the argument is resolved and you end up in a peaceful place and the other person promises to do better, I feel like it doesn't actually happen that way. And it's like, and you just feel like you are stuck in this loop, like you are constantly running into the same people, you're constantly reliving through the same relationship dynamics. Even if you do get into a new relationship with someone else, it just feels like it's a constant cycle. And so I feel like at this time you are in this space where you are trying to delve a bit deeper, where you're trying to understand where those dynamics are coming from, how you yourself are drawing that sort of energy to you, and what sort of energy you yourself are projecting out. Maybe at this time you are trying to figure out what it is that you truly want in a relationship, what truly matters to you, what are the most important things for you, so that you could almost like create this cheat sheet or this mental map for yourself. And that would help you to determine, when you do meet someone else, or when you do get into a new relationship, whether those like warning signs and distressing signals are there from the beginning and you have just sort of ignored them or missed them previously, or whether the person actually matches what you are wanting from a relationship. So it seems to me that you are working at this time, or you're focused at this time, on finding clarity, finding some answers, analyzing why and how past relationships or past situations have panned out the way that they have, and what has been your part in it, what has been the other person's part in it, and what you can sort of do differently to avoid those situations in the future. Because especially with this creation card, I do feel like you are focused on what to actually do about the situation, how to change it around, what sort of improvements you could make for the benefit of the future and for the benefit of your future self's happiness. Because with this chaos and conflict, it's like you're sick. You're sick of going through the same things again and again, ending up in the same situations, having to explain yourself or defend yourself or pick up the pieces after someone has broken your heart and not treated you with the respect and not treated you with the kindness that you deserve. It feels like you've just had enough. And now it's time to seek out the solutions to not repeat those same patterns again in the future. So that's kind of the energy that I'm getting from your sort of past relationship dynamics and the current energy of your love life right now. So it's quite stormy. It's quite deep as well. Like, especially looking at this water, I feel like you are deeply immersed in your emotions and in your subconscious, trying to like figure out where these patterns and cycles are coming from. What are they rooted in? And I feel like you are actually, this is just like, I'm kind of inserting my own personal opinion here, but I feel like you are actually doing a very like, you're actually going in the right direction in that sense, because you are sort of turning the focus on yourself more than anything else, rather than like looking at a solution from outside of you. But I feel like your focus is turned on like what you need to understand about yourself in order to fix not drawing the same people and not drawing the same relationship dynamics and situations into your life in the future. So I feel like you're going in the right way, or handling the situation in the right way. But anyway, if you resonated with this part, if you felt like this was talking about you or your past relationships, and yeah, you recognize what I was saying, then this is clearly your pile, and let's keep going. Let's see what type of positive changes you can expect to see in your love life next. Wow. Oh, look at that. We have courtship first and foremost. Wow. Okay. We have the masculine coming out next. Oh, we have embracing, which in this romantic context means something completely different. Okay. Oh, we also have intuition. Oh, we have yin. Wow, look at all these twos. We have 4, 42, 2 and 2. We have purity with number 30. And we have marriage number 3. Now, I don't want anyone to get freaked out. Doesn't mean that you are going to get married next. But I mean, you know, who knows? Maybe some of you will. But for the majority of you, especially if you are not actually wanting to get married, if it's not something that you are after, then just don't freak out. Okay. So the first thing I'm feeling here, or that my eyes are drawn to, are this masculine and this yin, and also this marriage, because this is like the divine masculine energy in this deck, and with yin, this is like the divine feminine. And so I'm kind of loving this beautiful balance that is coming out here, and especially with this marriage card, it's almost insinuating that more than anything, the biggest change that you will see in your love life is this balancing out within yourself of this masculine and feminine energy. So with this first section here, where I was talking about where your love life is right now, or what sort of situations you've been in, this felt more like feminine energy to me. And I'm not talking about gender again, I'm only talking about the energy, because we all have masculine and feminine energies within us. But this first part here, feels very feminine heavy. It feels much more like retractive or pulling back from a situation and allowing someone else to have more say in the relationship or be in that like dominant role. I feel like even though you were and have been trying to express your feelings and express your needs, there hasn't been too much enforcing of those things. It's kind of what I feel like. And I feel like it's sort of coming down to the lack of this masculine energy within you. Again, whether you are male, whether you are female, it doesn't matter. It just feels like your feminine energy is much more powerful or much more in control within you, and the masculine has maybe been a lot more subdued. But I feel like the masculine is going to be coming out more when as time goes on and as you go through this reflection process and as you are digging deep and all of those things, because the masculine energy is needed, it's necessary for us to actually stand up for ourselves, to protect our boundaries, to assert our will, to go after what we desire and what we want. Because the feminine is the receptive one. The feminine doesn't really take action. The feminine doesn't go and do. That's the masculine's job, so to say. And so if there is way too much feminine energy and not enough masculine energy, the scales kind of tip in, they get out of balance, right? And that's when you can end up in a situation, especially in a relationship dynamic, where maybe the other person has too much masculine and too little feminine. Then that heavily masculine energy can start overpowering the whole relationship. And that's kind of what I feel like you have experienced as well, pal number one. And so moving forward, one of the first most positive changes that are coming into your love life is that I feel like you'll be finding or rediscovering this masculine energy within you and bringing him more to the surface, which allows you to be more vocal about your needs and more assertive about your needs, not accept when someone is not respecting your needs, and establishing firmer boundaries as well. Like the word boundaries for some reason keeps coming up to me. So with this marriage, first and foremost, I feel like this is talking about this beautiful harmonizing and union of your masculine and your feminine energy, sort of coming more together on a similar level. Because especially with this intuition card here, which is kind of like the high priestess energy in traditional tarot, this tells me that you will start feeling more clearly, or you'll start having more clarity about what you are feeling, what you are thinking, what you are needing, and all of that. Because that's what your intuition is telling you. That's what your intuition is delivering. Like what sort of messages your intuition is delivering. Because it wants to guide you to your most authentic, most happy, most successful path in life. And I even love that on this card we can see this, it looks like a starry sky again, or this galaxy, but it's like it's held in this, I don't know if it's a mirror or what it is, but like she's clearly in that sort of space, in that sacred space, and sort of like taking it all in, all of that infinite cosmic universal wisdom that is outside of us, yes, but it's also inside of us. And I feel like that self-trust and that self-respect, especially with the masculine sort of coming more to the forefront as well for you, that's what is going to be increasing. Because with this embracing card here, it gives me the sense that you'll start embracing your feelings and your needs more. But it also tells me of you starting to accept, or I almost want to say forgive for the past experiences. Forgive yourself for these past experiences and sort of make peace with the way that things have unfolded and the the lessons that you maybe had to go through again and again and again. Because when this first energy feels very locked in, it feels very imprisoned, right? Like this card says, and almost like slightly victimized or powerless, then this energy here is like completely different. This energy is all about accepting. It's all about being at peace with the way that things have been, understanding why things have been that way, and being full of compassion for your past self, but also finding that inner courage and that inner drive to do things differently in the future. Because this intuition card is, to me, it's all about like learning. It's all about having that insight, having that deeper knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Being able to make sense of why some things have played out the way that they have, what the lessons behind those experiences have been, and how you can move forward from them in the best way. But again, it needs you, or part of that is needing to sort of make peace with the past and understand that maybe you needed to go through those things like 5 times or 6 times or 10 times or however many times. And it doesn't really matter how many times it took for you to learn that lesson or to recognize that pattern and to break that cycle. The most important thing is that you did break that cycle, that you're not repeating it anymore, and that you are now putting much more emphasis and focus on your feelings and respecting and honoring what it is that you are desiring from a relationship and how you want to be treated in a relationship. Especially with this purity card, it almost feels like you are starting off from a fresh, clean slate. Like you are releasing the past, whatever it was, whatever sort of disappointments and heartbreaks and difficult lessons you have gone through. As I said, you're making peace with them, you're learning from them, and now you are letting them go, and you are sort of setting yourself up for fresh new experiences that have nothing to do with the past. One of the last messages that I'm feeling here, especially with this courtship and with this marriage too, but especially with the courtship card, if you are single, this is more specifically to those who are in the second batch, if you are single and you have been for quite some time, then it could be that in the near future you will actually start dating again, or you'll start putting yourself out there in some way, making yourself more visible, more noticeable. Maybe you'll start socializing more with your friends or going out with your friends more. Maybe you'll start using some dating apps, or just signing up for like new classes or courses or whatever, and just opening yourself up to new experiences. That's kind of what I'm feeling with this courtship here. And if that's the case, being very, very literal about these cards, it could be that a person that you end up meeting as you go through this whole like inner process as well, it could be that you actually end up meeting a person that one day you will marry. But this feels very, like, very, very specific and probably only resonates for one of you. But anyway, that was like the most literal feeling or message that is here. But if you are already in a relationship, then this courtship card could be talking about, especially if this is like a serious relationship and you have been with that person for quite some time, and maybe you even are married to them already, then I feel like the courtship is talking about this like newfound romance, or almost like starting anew, refreshing this whole relationship and bringing back the romance is almost what I want to say. So yeah, it just feels like whether you are single, whether you are in a relationship, this whole inner work that you are doing and this analyzing, processing, working through your emotions and past experiences, it's clearly, as I was saying, it's clearly the right thing. You're clearly moving in the right direction. and it does feel like it is bringing things into a beautiful balance for you that is allowing you to make healthier and more inclusive when it comes to yourself, more respectful choices in the future. But let's look at the tarot cards now and see what type of effects these changes are going to be having on you, first short term and then long term. So let's look at short term. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands. Ooh, and the King of Pentacles. Oh my God, I love this. Oh, and you actually, okay, I'm gonna talk about it in a sec, but this is actually quite cool how this is coming out. And long term, we have the Nine of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. So the first thing that I clearly want to talk about is the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles. The reason why I was chuckling is because in this specific deck, there are two versions of each of the King cards, King court cards. And one of them is depicted as a male, as in like most traditional decks, and the other one is depicted as female. And so the thing that made it even funnier for me was that in this deck, the King of Pentacles is, I think it's the only king as well, with this feminine depiction that is surrounded by flowers. I might be mistaken, but I feel like this like golden yellow is pretty much the only color scheme for the King of Pentacles. So I find it really, really funny that we have this Queen of Wands with this sunflower beaming like a beautiful sun, coming out with these, I'm not sure whether they are daisies or what sort of flowers these are. I'm sorry, I suck at like knowing the specific flower types. But anyway, we have these beautiful yellow flowers, and yeah, it's a cool sort of combination that's coming out. But anyway, what this tells me again, especially because both of those cards are coming out as female, and that tells me that this sort of harmonizing is talking about this internal harmonizing that you're experiencing, that the queen aspect or the feminine aspect and the masculine aspect with this king are coming together within you. And especially with the Queen of Wands here, this is talking about this badass, super confident, self-loving, self-honoring, self-respecting energy. And because it's the Queen of Wands specifically, it's all about showing yourself, strutting your stuff, especially with the peacock feathers here as well that she's wearing. It's like being visible, being seen, and being proudly seen, showing yourself off in your most beautiful colors. So I love that this sort of change that you are experiencing, this harmonizing and balancing that you are experiencing in the near future, and all of this like making peace with yourself is bringing out this fierce, badass energy within you that is not afraid to show yourself off and who sees and understands their value. And so I really, really like that, especially with the King of Pentacles here as well. I do feel like you are actually realizing your own value and having that sort of perception shift, or that like inner click within you where you sort of come out of this powerless state and you step into this very, very powerful energy. That shift in and of itself is going to change your whole vibration and your energy, and it's going to affect the type of people that you do bring about, or that you do sort of draw towards yourself. But now if we just focus on the more like literal meaning, then again this Queen of Wands and King of Pentacles could be describing that you are actually attracting some sort of person, again male or female, doesn't matter, to you, who is kind of like a lot more reliable and a lot more trustworthy and steady, and you know, who will kind of offer you the kind of support that you, I feel like, have been lacking in past relationships, especially if you're single, right? But if this is talking about your current partner, then it could just be that there is, again, this sort of dynamic shift that happens where you almost like level, how should I say, where you are leveling out, or where your relationship dynamic is evening out, or something like that. So yeah, either way, this short-term effect looks like a very, very positive one. But now looking at the long-term focus here with the Nine of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. The first thing I'm feeling is, especially with the Nine of Pentacles, this is again talking about that self-worth, that self-appreciation, respecting your wishes and your needs and your emotions, having this self-assuredness that you don't allow others to rip you off or take advantage of you or walk all over you, all that kind of thing. Like the Nine of Pentacles is usually like the quote-unquote single card or the independent card. It doesn't mean that you have to actually be in a single relationship status, but it's just talking about you being okay with being by yourself, like you feeling like you don't actually need anything, or you don't need anyone to complete you, to make you feel happy or fulfilled. You can do all of that for yourself. That's the Nine of Pentacles. And with the Seven of Swords, especially as it is in this deck, I feel like you'll just be a lot more protective of yourself and a lot more protective, again, boundaries, right? Boundaries was the thing that I was kind of repeating over and over again with the masculine here. I feel like you'll be just a lot more protective of your boundaries and of your of yourself, of your energy, of your resources, of your love and time and all of it. Because again, I feel like you may have been in a position where people may have taken too much and have again, like walked all over you and almost drained you in some way without maybe giving too much back. But I feel like in the future, moving forward, after all of these beautiful changes that you go through, you won't really allow that to happen anymore, because you'll be looking after your own needs and you'll be looking after taking care of yourself. And so that also includes not allowing anyone to sort of take advantage of you. So the Seven of Swords could be talking about like you protecting yourself from like future damage or from someone taking advantage of you, playing you dirty, that type of thing. But it could also be talking about like you not really paying attention or keeping yourself safe from that type of behavior. So take it as it resonates. Either way, I feel like you are coming out in a very, very strong position, and this like uplifting or enhancing of confidence that you are going through in the near future is clearly going to have a very positive effect in the long term as well, where it allows you to keep yourself safe and protected from the people who would put you in a position where you feel imprisoned or where you feel like there is something lacking and where your needs and wishes are not being met. So yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful pile number one. But let's look at these last oracle cards and see what Spirit wants you to know regarding your love life. And yeah, okay. We have religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Oh my God. I actually can't believe that it says that. I mean, there's the religious upbringing, like, I'm not really feeling that. Again, apply it to your situation as you will. If that's the case for you, then you'll know it is. But more strongly, I'm getting an inkling regarding the spiritual path, because that's what we were talking about this whole time here. Like, that's what the focus is on right now, seemingly on when it comes to your love life. And clearly the type of like realizations and inner awakenings that you will be going through this embracing and accepting of yourself and of these past lessons that you have had to go through. I feel like all of that is contributing to your love life. And clearly, again, like the positive experiences, they haven't really been able to come in because you needed to you needed to recognize those patterns. Okay, we also have passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Yeah, this is about taking care of those needs. And especially it's funny that it's coming through as this passion card, because as I was feeling like this lack of affection or lack of the showing of emotions or showing of feelings is something that I feel like is a very typical or a very prevalent keyword regarding your past relationships, where you haven't felt this sense of being loved and appreciated for you truly. And let's see what other cards we have. So we have choose love. You always have a choice. Make yours with love. Wow, we have number 30. Oh, we also had 21 here, which reduces down to 3, and we have 30, which again reduces down to 3. True love. This love is once in a lifetime. So see, there could be a very special person coming in for you. And we also have number 27, spiritual connection. A relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. So again, as I was saying, especially with these oracle cards as well, like some of you could actually be meeting a very significant person as you go through this spiritual path of yours, as you go through these inner awakenings and these realizations and all of those things, like as these shifts happen within you. And as you start opening yourself up to new experiences again, it very well could be that you actually meet this, like as I said, the special person that you'll end up marrying. Now again, this marrying thing is probably like a very, very specific message, and not going to apply to all of you. But just generally speaking, I feel like there is a possibility for you to find someone truly, truly meaningful. And it could be that this process has been, the experiences that you've gone through have been specifically to prep you for that connection, so that you would recognize this person and that you would be able to receive their love. Again, as it says with this card, you always have a choice. Make yours with love. So again, this is the process that is needed for you to go through, so that when you do end up meeting someone new, or where you do end up getting or being in a position where you have to choose whether you want to pursue something with someone or whether you don't, it's important to have a clarity of what you are truly feeling, and again, whether you are noticing those red flags or those distressing signals or not, right? And going off of your true heart space, going off of your intuition, your gut, is one thing that allows you to do that. I feel like these positive changes that are coming into your love life, pile number 1, are going to be leading you to this very special soul connection, this person that you are meant to find in this lifetime and be together with. And so keep going through that spiritual path and those inner workings, because you are clearly on the right path. But pile number 1, wow, what a reading. This felt so huge and so fundamental that I feel like the changes are going to really, really have a huge effect on your life, especially in the long run. So I hope that you are excited about them too, and excited about breaking those patterns. If you enjoyed this reading and you resonated with them, then don't forget to leave a little like for this video, and also you can leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. If you want to claim these messages and you want these changes to come into your life, then leave a little angel emoji in the comment section, and then I'll know that I'll know where you are at and that I know that this resonated. And also, if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe and join my Feather Tribe if you want to hang out with me in the future and not miss any of the future readings. But other than that, any other information that you need, my Amazon wish list, the decks that I've used in this video, Everything that you may possibly want to check out is in the description box. So go and look at that if you're interested. Thank you, pile number 1. If I don't see you in any of the other piles, please take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you very soon in my next one. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You chose the rose quartz, beautiful, beautiful rose quartz, and we're going to put it right over here. So I hope that you are doing very, very well. I hope that you are having a good day or night or morning so far, wherever you are watching from. And that you are excited for this reading, because I definitely am super excited to see what is going on with your love life and what you can expect moving forward. So let's start off with these cards and see what your love life is like right now. Wow, we have Privileged Lady. We have Blossoming. We have all of these 3s and all these greens as well, which rhymes. But yeah, very green so far. That's cool. So we have number 12, which reduces down to 3. And we also have number 33 with this Blossoming card. We have Forgiveness. Oh, we have number 6 and Harmony. We have Observer, number 49, which reduces down to 13. We have Assessing, number 9. And we have Gift, with number 17, reducing down to 8. The first thing I want to say, which is super random, but it is in my head, so I have to say it. As I just laid down all of these cards, and as I was getting in tune with them, this song, this 80s song, started playing in my head super randomly. It's by Black Box and it's called Right on Time. And I just kept hearing the chorus, Right on Time, Right on Time. So you can listen to that song if you're not familiar with it. But it's just, yeah, it's funny. So I don't know, maybe pile number 2, you are right on time. But anyway. Now, whether you are in a relationship with someone or whether you are single, I actually don't even feel like it matters too much, or it's like not a very important aspect for some reason. I don't know why, but I just feel like it's not really important. Because the general energy that I'm feeling about your love life is that you seem to be in a rather strong state. Now, the reason why I'm saying it is because I feel like you have worked quite a lot on yourself, and I feel like you've also done a lot of soul searching, a lot of assessing, like this card says, a lot of reflecting and analyzing when it comes to yourself, your past relationships, your current relationships. Again, they don't even have to be like romantic, but just looking at generally how you connect with other people and just making kind of sense of all of those things, making sense of yourself, making sense of your patterns and what makes you click, what draws you in, what sort of traits in other people you have put up with or accepted in the past, and what you maybe don't anymore. I get this feeling that your standards have risen quite a bit. I feel like because you have made a lot of peace with yourself, especially with this Harmony card, again, whether you are actually in a relationship with someone or whether you are single, I feel like there is this sense of being okay with the way that things are, or feeling a contentment on some level. Now, it doesn't mean that like you are just fully happy and you are not wanting for anything more or anything other, and you just want to stay where you are. Not that necessarily. Especially because of this Observer and Assessing card, it does feel like you are looking for ways to like upgrade or where to move on from here. But I just feel like the sort of the foundation on which you are standing is quite firm and strong. It's not one of feeling inadequate or feeling like you desperately want or need someone by your side, like you need someone to depend on, or you know, your world is going to crumble if you don't have anyone to share it with, like that type of thing. I'm not feeling any desperate or obsessive emotions here at all. I feel like, especially with this forgiveness card, you've just made a lot of peace with things, and you've worked through a lot of things from your past to get yourself to this point right now. To be okay, to be steady and secure by yourself too, not needing anyone by your side necessarily to cope or to live your life. But I do feel like it would be nice to have someone if you are single, or it would be nice to build this relationship to a steadier and like even more upgraded place if you are in a relationship with someone. Because with this blossoming card, it tells me that you are doing quite well for yourself, especially. For some reason, I keep wanting to talk about you. So again, maybe that's why it wasn't really important whether you're in a relationship or not, because this message seems to be much more focused on you yourself, regardless of whether you are with someone or not. Because this blossoming is telling me that you are actually in a really good place and you are thriving. You are not just like getting by and making your ends meet. And I'm not even focusing on like the material side as much, but I just feel like you are thriving in a sense that you are living your life. You are doing what you are meant to be doing or what you want to be doing. You are growing and developing as an individual. And I feel like you're kind of just doing all the right things, so to say, when it comes to being in a prime spot regarding your love life. And I feel like that sort of security, that steadiness, that making peace with the past and burying any hatchets that you need to, not holding any grudges, not feeling sorry for yourself for the mistakes and the experiences that you have gone through in the past. It has allowed you to get to this space where you can firmly and healthily look at your future prospects and see which way you want to move, see which way you want to build your foundation next. And especially with this privileged lady and this gift, it does tell me that you are actually in a very, very good spot. Again, whether you realize it or not, even though I do feel like you do realize it, but maybe some of you are not so sure. So for those of you who are not so sure, you are actually in a very steady spot. And I do feel like the reason for that is because you have worked yourself to this space where you have quite high standards, or where you sort of realize or know what you want, what you expect from someone in a relationship. You don't just accept any old people coming your way, offering themselves to you and expecting you to be flattered and grateful because they are interested in you. Like, you're not having any of that. I feel like you are actually, I don't know, I feel like you have this very firm screening process in place where you are not settling for anything less than the true thing, the real deal. Someone who would match you in their own sense of like thriving. Again, not talking about the material or the financial aspect of life. I'm talking about as a person, as an individual, someone who is like on par with you, or someone who can match you and your aspirations, your abilities and skills of like self-reflection and self-analysis and self-respect and all of those types of things. This harmony card is telling me that you are looking for an equal partner, someone who you can be in a real, genuine, equal partnership with, rather than someone that you are looking for to fulfill your life somehow. And so because of that, I feel like you are looking for a real gem. And because you are having these screening processes in place, you are actually able to filter out the sort of the scraps, or maybe it's not the nicest way to say it, but you know what I'm trying to say. You're able to filter out the sort of the empty promises, the dreams that are being sold to you, which are actually just hot air, right? And so even though you may actually have a lot of people who are interested in you, or who would like to have a chance with you, or who would like to try something with you, I feel like, because especially the way that this privileged lady, again, whether you are male or female, it doesn't matter, we're not talking about gender here, but this privileged lady, I feel like the way that she's positioned with her back towards this gift, it kind of tells me that, like, you may not even be aware of how many opportunities you have, or how many people may be interested in you, romantically speaking. Because again, it's like, you're not grasping, you're not desperate, you don't need anything from anyone. You are just kind of where you are right now. You are doing your thing, you are working on yourself, you are progressing and improving your life, and constantly growing yourself. And so I feel like you are at this place where you are almost at peace with the way that things are going, and you're sort of allowing things to unfold naturally, organically. Again, you're not grasping for anything. But I do feel like you're very much open, and you're very much keeping your eyes and ears alert to the energies around you. So if you are single, you may be keeping yourself open and receptive to a potential love interest, the gem, right, whose offer or proposal would actually be something that you would be interested in. Or if you are in a relationship already, you are sort of being receptive and allowing for the relationship to progress in its natural pace, allowing for sort of the universe and life to run its own course in a way. And I feel like you're not forcing anything, but you're just kind of like going with the flow and seeing where this relationship takes you. So it's a very healthy approach. I kind of feel like. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what sort of positive changes are coming into your love life, because I don't know, I don't feel like you are struggling that much. Pile number 2. But anyway, let's see what we have. Okay, we're starting off with mature woman. Interesting. We also have resistance. Oh, we have love. Wow, my favorite card in the deck. Okay. We also have, wow, victory and success. Look at that. Another number 6. It's actually crazy. We have building blocks with number 28, reducing down to 10 or 1. We have trust. And we have message. Okay, cool. Okay, so clearly, I feel like we need to address the center card first, because this is like almost like the loudest energy here with this victory and success. And especially with this resistance card as well, I'm getting the message that your sort of high standards, or your level of self-respect, and the way that you don't just allow any old energy to come into your life, come into your personal space with this resistance, like that tells me that it's actually going to be bearing fruit. So if you have been holding strong or holding out for that right person, if you have been, again, flowing with life, doing what you need to do, going through your experiences, going through these lessons, and not worrying about like not having met the right person yet, then I feel like, as I said, like the universe is going to be rewarding you for it. Again, if this is a situation in which you are actually in a relationship, then I feel like this resistance is talking about you like holding firm or resisting maybe some of these temptations that you may have felt at times, where you possibly wanted to progress or push this relationship to move along a bit quicker, or where you may have like even experienced some sudden urges to explore some other options, because again, for some reason I feel like you have a lot of options. Maybe you are very attractive, maybe you just have that sort of like natural charisma and aura about you that draws a lot of people in, and that a lot of people are very interested in you. Take it as it resonates. But I feel like this resistance is saying that like you pushing against either those potential suitors or any like temptations or urges that you may have felt regarding your relationship partner or regarding other people. I feel like it's going to be taking you to some certain results that you can be very, very happy with. And especially because those two cards are surrounding this love card, this tells me that this is like true love, or you are finding true love. And I feel like it's that unconditional love as well, which is like the most rare forms of love I feel like that there is. So that's the real deal. So if that's something that you have been waiting for, if that's something that you have been looking for, then it's clear to me that something very, very sincere and genuine and fulfilling is going to be coming in for you with this victory and success card here. And especially because we have this building blocks card right next to this, which tells me that you are sort of finding something to build your, or to build on top of your strong foundation. Especially if you are, again, as I said, single, then it's clear that you are building a strong and firm foundation, or building on top of what you have already built by yourself. But if this is a relationship, then you are clearly progressing and advancing the relationship in a very, very strong and reliable way, in a very steady way. And I feel like with this trust card being here, I feel like your trust in the universe is actually going to be increasing as well as you go through these changes and as you go through these progressions. Because I feel like, first of all, if you actually see this hope and openness and all of these things that you have gone through, all of this work that you have done on yourself, if you see that actually being rewarded, or actually, again, bearing fruit, right? Actually blossoming, then it's bound to make you feel this increased sense of trust and faith in the universe, and knowing that everything that you have worked on has been for a specific reason. Everything that you have gone through, all of even the negative experiences when it comes to your love life, even they have been a part of your life for a reason. And so I feel like holding strong and staying steady in the face of all of those things is going to be increasing your trust in the universe. And maybe even love is as well, because it could very well be that at times, especially because we have two of these cards here, which are talking about like looking for things or searching for things, observer, assessing, like those types of things. Especially if you are single and you have been like keeping your eyes and ears open for someone, and maybe you have been looking for a very long time. So I wouldn't be surprised if at times you felt like almost starting to like you were starting to lose hope, or like you started to question, like, where is this person? How long am I supposed to wait? How long am I supposed to hold on for? But like the fact that you haven't given up, the fact that you haven't thrown in the towel and like closed your heart space, or become very cynical about life and about love and about relationships and all of that. Again, the fact that you have been able to make peace with the past and only like take out the lessons and the positives and the constructive elements of it, I feel like those types of things have built you up to this point, have built you up to this position where you are able to now reap all of these beautiful rewards. And again, for those of you who are in a relationship, especially with this trust card, I feel like the level of trust between you is going to be increasing. It's going to be building up even more as your relationship progresses. So either way, I feel like this love that either already exists or is coming into your life is going to be growing and building in the most magical way. Now, looking at this message card and this mature woman, again, please don't get stuck in the gender aspect. This is mature feminine energy. So with the message card here, it could be that, again, especially if you're single, it could be that a certain mature person, again, female or male, doesn't matter, whoever you are interested in, a certain mature person is going to be getting in contact with you somehow with this message card. So it could be that someone reaches out to you and you may be sort of like interested in seeing where this relationship goes. So that could be the person that you, especially if you're single, start building this foundation with. But if you are in a relationship, then I feel like these two cards could be talking about this, especially with this mature woman card, I feel like this could be talking about the ways in which you sort of agree to progress your relationship somehow, like take it to the next level with this maturing energy. And this message could be talking about your sort of communication process, or maybe your significant other reaches out to you somehow or initiates a conversation talking about that. Or maybe you sort of like find a way to discuss your future like together somehow. Either way, I just feel like there is going to be some sort of conversation where you go over the ways in which you can sort of progress the relationship or see how to take it to the next level here. And especially if maybe your other half has been somewhat resistant to progressing too quickly, or who has maybe been wanting to take things more slowly than maybe you have. I feel like it's that there is going to be a possibility for you to sort of like talk things through. And especially with this trust card, it could be that your other half actually gets to a point where they sort of open up more, or where they start trusting more. And so the relationship can actually move forward onto the next level. But that's again a more specific message. And the last very, very specific message that I was feeling was that this mature woman, if it is actually talking about specifically another person in your life, this could be a mother, if it's your mother or if it's your partner's mother. But if they have been possibly not very happy about this relationship that you are in, or they haven't really approved of it, it could be that there is going to be a communication coming from their side, or you may be able to communicate with them and sort of, I feel like, ease the situation a bit. Or yeah, there could be some sort of movement or progression, especially if you've had a lot of problems or challenges with a mature person in your lives. Again, it doesn't have to be mother, it could be father as well, but it is that feminine energy. So again, if you or your partner has a mother who has been against this relationship, or who has been resisting this partnership going further in some way, it could be that there is some sort of resolving of this issue, or at least progression, something moving forward and getting on the way to a resolution. when it comes to that. But again, this feels very, very specific, so please take it as it resonates. But like, generally speaking, I just feel like this reading is talking about going upwards and onwards, seriously, with the victory and success, and with the building blocks and love. And I mean, like, what else could you possibly want? This is talking about you starting to build the sort of life that you want for yourself when it comes to love. So yeah, this is very, very beautiful, and a very like magical deepening energy as well that I feel with this trust. But let's move on to the tarot portion now and see how these changes are going to be affecting you in the short term and how they're going to be affecting you in the long term. So, oh my god, it's kind of interesting. We have the King of Wands in reverse, and we have the Page of Swords when it comes to the short-term effects. And long-term, we have the Three of Swords with the Ace of Pentacles. Oh my god, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, so the first thing I am definitely feeling here with the King of Wands reversed and the Page of Swords. So this is talking about how these positive changes coming into your love life are going to be affecting you in the short term. And I feel like you are going to be gaining a lot of clarity with this Page of Swords, especially when it comes to some sort of fears or some sort of blockages that have prevented something from manifesting fully. Now, this King of Wands reverse, this could be talking about your person, your partner, if you are in a relationship, or if you are single, this could be talking about you. So, and your own masculine aspect, just to clarify. So if this is talking about your partner, especially if you resonate with the scenario of your partner maybe having some doubts, your partner having some worries or fears regarding taking the relationship forward and getting into a deeper level of commitment. If that's the case, then I feel like with the Page of Swords, this is the ability for you to gain more understanding about why that has been the case, or what has been feeding into those fears or feeding into those insecurities, or what is in the foundation of those feelings. Why does your partner feel that way, and what has caused him or her to feel that way? So again, with this message card here, I feel like there is going to be some sort of important level of communication, or an important conversation that you're going to be having that is clearly going to be contributing to your relationship or your love life progressing. And so through this conversation, again, that's where I feel like this clarity is coming from with this Page of Swords. And I actually love the way that this card is depicted as well, because you can see the person here, they are like, their hand is on their heart. And that tells me that you not only will you be having a deeper sense of understanding, but I feel like you also have more compassion. And I feel like with that newfound information or insight, realizing what is causing your partner to feel that way, or what is causing these fears within you as well, or what has been blocking your love life possibly in the past, I feel like it kind of allows you to sort of offer more love again. So it could be towards your partner, or it could be towards yourself. But this just feels very like accepting to me, just allowing this aspect to be, and allowing, giving space for either that person or for yourself and for those feelings. Because whenever the King of Wands comes out in reverse, it is slightly insecure or slightly afraid and feeling dubious about something, not having the courage to act, not having the courage to take responsibility and to commit to something. So I feel like it's going to be very crucial and a very meaningful aspect or just learning about the sort of the background of it, and gaining clarity about the situation in general, and especially how to move forward from that as well. And again, with this Page of Swords, this is all about communicating and talking with authenticity, with honesty, with sincerity. But looking at the long-term effects now, we have the Three of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. And normally you wouldn't be too happy about the Three of Swords, but because it's coming out with the Ace of Pentacles, this tells me that in the long term, any like past disappointments or heartbreaks or anything like that, I feel like they are going to be feeding into a beautiful, new, healthy, sturdy and grounded and deeply, deeply rooted relationship to blossom or blossoming. I feel like it's going to help, and it's going to contribute to a beautiful new thing. So it almost feels like, and I'm kind of loving as well that on this Ace of Pentacles, the way that this plant is growing, you can kind of see the leaves forming a little heart almost. And so I feel like long term, the way that this relationship or the way that these changes in your love life are going to be affecting you in the future is, I feel like you'll have a lot more compassion for other people, and I feel like you'll have a lot more patience as well, and an ability to turn the sort of the negative or the unpleasant situations and experiences into something positive, learn from them and grow from them, rather than let yourself be held back, or rather than let those experiences feed into any fears or doubts or worries or anxieties. So I actually feel like your heart is going to be opening up even more moving forward, and again, I feel like you'll be sort of more trusting, which allows you to experience things on a more deep level, and it's going to allow something truly meaningful and full of potential and real to come into life with this Ace of Pentacles, because that's the material suit, right? That's the physical suit. And so I feel like it's the most real and tangible that you can get in tarot. And especially because it's talking about your love life, I feel like you looking for that real, true, meaningful, soul-inspiring love, I feel like that's what you'll be able to sort of manifest for yourself, or that's what you'll be able to bring about and be open to in the future too, despite any of the experiences and negative situations or disappointments that you may have had to go through in the past. So anyway, let's look at these oracle cards to close this reading out. So we have some last pieces of advice and or important messages regarding your love life from Spirit. So let's see what we get. We have chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Yes, definitely, especially to those who are in a relationship. As I said, I feel like you are in a very steady and sturdy place. And for those of you who are single, it's clear that there's someone coming in for you where there is going to be quite a lot of chemistry. And we also have express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Yeah, so this is asking you to kind of open up. So yeah, especially if you are in a relationship, this may be urging you or calling on you to be more affectionate as well to your partner. But if this is talking about you being single, then yeah, I feel like it's asking you to sort of have that level of trust and possibly be more vocal and courageous. Again, with this King of Wands in reverse, be more courageous with actually showing your feelings as well. so that the other person could have more reassurance as well. But anyway, let's keep going. So we also have like attracts like. If you long for more love, be more loving. Okay, so it kind of ties in with this express your love card. And I feel like it's a very good message for those of you who are single as well. Finding ways in which to express your love and be in that loving energy, whether it be with family members, whether it be with your friends, whether it be with your children if you have them, whether it be with just doing anything that you really enjoy doing and that fills you up with pure joy. Like those types of things I feel like is going to be increasing that sense of love in you. We also have back to what you love, reevaluate your desires. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And finally we have number 22, the heart of the matter. There is more going on than meets the eye. Yes, okay. So again, I feel like this is talking about the universe urging you to like really focus on what you want to achieve in the future, because especially with the victory and success, I feel like the universe is saying that you can have it, but you just need to be sure what you are trying to build here. And I feel like especially with the heart of the matter, I actually feel like it's tying back to this King of Wands reversed and this Page of Swords energy, where it's talking about like finding some sort of clarity, again, that we were talking about, getting to the bottom of some fears or insecurities or things that have been either holding you back or holding this relationship back. So I feel like it's almost asking you to sort of look for that truth, look for that insight, whether it's within you or whether it's within your person, or whether it's maybe even in both of you if you are in a relationship, but just sort of turning your focus on finding out what are the things that you maybe are not saying to each other, what you haven't been saying to each other, or some of the things that you haven't been admitting to yourself even. There is definitely this level of finding some answers and being very open and honest that the universe is urging you to do here, because I feel like it's going to have magical results on your love life. Again, whether it's going to help take your already existing relationship to a whole new level and bring you even closer together and help you build a really sturdy foundation for your future, or whether it's going to help you to understand where there could still possibly be some blockages or things that are hindering you meeting your person or truly opening up to love, or where there could still be some things that are maybe feeding into certain fears or hesitations. But honestly, this looks so very, very promising, pile number 2. I mean, as I said, I don't think you can ask for much better cards than these. So there are clearly going to be beautiful, beautiful changes coming into your love life that are going to be offering you the opportunity to take things to exactly where you want them to go. You have clearly been doing a lot of good work, and if you keep on the track of being super honest with yourself and being super honest with others, I feel like your love life is going to skyrocket. So yeah, very, very cool things coming out in this reading, pile 2. I thoroughly enjoyed delivering these messages, and I hope that you enjoyed them too. So if you did, and if you resonated with this reading, leave me a heart emoji in the comment section, so I know that this was your reading and that you resonated and that you claim these changes coming into your life. And also, if you haven't already, but you want to hang out with me in the future and you don't want to miss any of the future readings, don't forget to subscribe and join my Feather Tribe. Yeah, besides that, any other information that you may need, my Amazon wish list, the decks that I have used in this reading, also all the other pick a card readings that you may want to binge watch, all of those are in the description box down below, so go and check it out if you're interested. But if I don't see you in any of the other piles, please take care of yourselves. I am wishing you all the best, and I hope to see you very soon in my next reading. Bye bye. Hello, pile number 3. I hope you're all doing really, really well. So you chose the green opal stone, and we are gonna put it right here. And we're gonna move straight on to the cards for your reading. So yeah, okay. There are quite a few, as you can see, so I just have to be really careful not to mess anything up. But we are first going to look at what your love life has been like up to this point and what it is like now. So we're going to get a general overview of what you are dealing with when it comes to your love life, and that way you can also decide whether this is your pile or not. So let's see. Okay, we're starting off with mature man. We also have discernment. We have courage. We have positive movement forward. We also have round and round. We have balance. And finally, we have child. I have a feeling that your love life has taught you so much. And I'm not just talking about the fact that you have had a lot of different lessons, a lot of different difficult situations or hardships that you've had to endure, that you've had to come through and heal yourself from, and that you've also had a lot of positive moments as well, because that's kind of a given, and that's usually what happens to be the case. So it's usually what most people go through when they have different relationships in their lives. What I'm talking about here is that you have clearly, no matter how many times you have experienced relationships that haven't worked out and situations that have ended up in disappointment, no matter how many times that has happened, you have always gone forward in a very constructive way, or you have always managed to not lose sight of what it is that you are after. And by going through all of these different experiences that you've had, maybe some of them haven't even been necessarily romantic, but just relationships with other people in general, there has been some sort of growing area for you, or a place of development for you. Because I'm looking at this round and round, and I'm looking at this positive movement forward. And usually this round and round card would indicate someone like going in a circle, right? Someone constantly like going through the same thing again and again and again. But in this case, I don't actually feel like you are necessarily repeating some sort of pattern or stuck in some sort of loop, even though that may be the case for some of you. Maybe you have experienced very, very similar things in situations and relationships in the past. But I also feel that it's talking about how you have almost like through every experience, you have gotten closer and closer and closer to the truth, or closer and closer to some sort of clarity and like the knowledge of what the real thing is for you, what you are truly looking for. Just like this spiral is getting closer and closer and closer to the middle, right? That's what I'm kind of feeling like. And especially with this positive movement forward, as the ship is moving towards the sun, that's what I kind of feel like. That through all of these different experiences, you have constantly been steering in the right direction. And I feel like you haven't like gotten lost in what those lessons have been regarding, or why they have come about. And I feel like you haven't gotten stuck in just the fact of having had to go through those lessons. You know, it's like I'm looking at this discernment card and with this balance card here, and it's kind of a noticeable similarity that both of these women have these massive heaps of clouds that are instead of their heads, right? They have these clouds. And the thing is, I feel like you have, first time around when you had your first relationships, maybe you weren't really sure who you were and who you were really looking for, or what you were really looking for in someone. And again, it's something that sort of comes with time. It's something that comes through experience. And the more and more you go through different relationships and different dynamics with people, and the more you come across different types of people, the more you start realizing and the more you start mapping out what it is that you truly value in someone and what it is that you do not tolerate in someone, or that you do not tolerate in relationships when it comes to how other people behave with you or treat you. And so I feel like, especially with this discernment, it's again the message of you having learned, you having grown through these experiences, and now having a much, much clearer understanding of what it is that like truly ticks your boxes, what it is that you value, what it is that truly matters in relationships and in the person that you are romantically interested in, and what sort of things are not really for you. And at the same time, I also have a feeling that, so I'm looking at this balance card, and the thing that straight up caught my eye with it was this mature man and this child. So these two are like complete opposite energies. They are at the complete ends of a spectrum, right? Or different ends of a spectrum. So with this mature man, not talking about gender, we're just talking about mature masculine energy. This kind of tells me that the balance that I'm feeling here with you is that even though you have gone through these relationships and these experiences, and you have grown and developed and learned a lot of lessons, you have matured, but at the same time, with this child here, you haven't lost this sense of innocence or this sense of open-mindedness and open-heartedness when it comes to relationships. Like, the experiences that you have gone through have not made you walled off or closed off to other people. I feel like that sort of part of you remains open, and that vulnerability inside you remains. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like this round and round is not actually like talking about you going around in circles, but you getting closer to like that truth, or you getting closer to finding what it is that you are actually looking for, and finding that person who would match you and your needs perfectly. Because even with this courage card, and it's also interesting, I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see it, but there is like, it's very, very faint, even I can hardly see it, but there is this very mild outline of a map or a globe, which is so interesting because we also have a globe here on this mature man card. So I feel like despite the sort of, again, the different experiences that you have had, this courage to still put yourself out there, to still open up to new loves, to new people, to new relationships, that sort of hasn't gone away within you. And I feel like that's something that you should be really, really proud of, because as I said, I feel like the whole baggage of experiences that you have experienced couldn't think of a better word, like they might have had a completely different effect on someone else. Maybe someone else would have become very like cynical, very bitter, very disappointed, and just overall like hurt, to the point that they don't really want to open up to people anymore. They don't really trust people anymore. They don't want to get involved and share their love and open up their heart to anyone anymore. So you haven't done that. That's what I'm feeling like. You haven't done that. And it's also interesting that you chose this green opal stone. because green is the heart chakra color, and the green opal is just a very, very soft and like heart space. It feels like it's a heart space healing kind of stone. So that's why it's interesting that that these cards are sort of talking about that as well. Now, most of these cards I feel like are talking about like a single person, but even if you are not single, because if we take the mature man and the child card very, very literally, it could be that you are in a very long-standing and steady relationship with someone, maybe even in a marriage, or maybe you are living together with someone, or you have a more serious level of commitment, and you may have a child with this person, you maybe have multiple children with this person, or you may be planning a child. You may be pregnant right now, you know, those would be like very, very literal meanings and descriptions of your current relationship status. But mostly I feel like this is talking about someone who is single and has just gone through quite several interactions and situations with people. And as I said, I don't feel that all of them have been like strictly romantic that have taught you these lessons. Some of these relationships have also been like just on a friendship level. They have been with just new people that you've met, acquaintances, that kind of thing. So yeah, you definitely feel like the kind of person who is on the path of like developing themselves, and not just being in a relationship, or not just getting involved with people for the sake of being in a relationship or for the sake of being involved with someone. This to me is saying that you are someone who is adamant on finding the right person for you. And I feel like this level-headed approach that you have, where you kind of know what you want and you are constantly getting closer and closer and closer to that, but still having this openness to put yourself out there or to give a chance to new relationships. That level-headedness is something that is clearly helping you not waste time on people and on relationships that wouldn't take you where you want to go anyway. Because with this courage, the other thing that I'm feeling here is that you are not afraid to be by yourself. You're not afraid to live a single life and not be attached to anyone. And that does take a lot of courage, because not everyone is able to be on their own, you know? Not everyone feels okay if they don't have someone next to them, or if they don't have someone they can rely on in a relationship. So yeah, this is talking to me about a very, very strong individual, which I feel that you are. So yeah, that's kind of that's kind of what I'm feeling like here. And if you resonate with this part, if you feel like this person who sort of knows what they are looking for and doesn't settle for anything less, if this is talking about you, then keep watching. So let's see what sort of positive changes are coming into your love life next. Oh, we have main male. Look at that. Okay, this is getting interesting. Wow, we have the unexpected, one of my favorite cards in the deck for sure. We have taking risks, movement, choices, and decisions. It's interesting you're getting two movement cards like that. Wow, we also have higher power. We have the void. I don't know why, but I had a feeling that we might get the main female card here as well. Oh my god. Okay, this is really cool. So obviously part number 3, the first message that is the most obvious to me, especially with the main male and main female coming out, which are like the counterparts or the main characters in this deck. This is talking to me about someone coming into your life, or a certain person coming into your life, and you sort of having to make a choice or make a decision whether you want to pursue that person or not. So because we're looking at positive changes here, it does feel like it could be something that you haven't, or that you're not expecting, like we have like we have here with the unexpected. It could be somewhat of a surprise, but I feel like it's something that you almost have been manifesting or calling in, because I'm looking at the void card here with this dark moon and this higher power card here, and it just makes me feel like you have been calling in a soulmate or someone that would be that your person, you know? And I feel like you have been sort of in communication with the divine about that person. Now, whether they are actually male, female, or anything in between, that doesn't matter. We're just talking about the energies of the feminine and the masculine sort of coming together. So this is really exciting. Pile number 3, this is really exciting. And I feel like the reason why this person is coming into your life now, or like soon, is because, especially with the higher power card here, it tells me that the universe sees that you are ready now, that you are ready for that person now, because you have sort of worked through so many of these like past experiences, and because you have this awareness and knowledge now that you didn't before. And so it's easier not to sort of let that person slip through your fingers, or it's easier to see the value of this person and the potential of your relationship than it maybe would have been previously or before, when you hadn't yet seen all of the things that don't tick all of your boxes, and all of the things that are not living up to your standards, that are not truly matching you. So because of this higher power card, where the angel has like this keyhole on her forehead, that's what kind of like, I don't know why, but it's standing out to me for some reason, very, very, very evidently. And so that tells me that the reason, or the whole key behind the situation, is that you now have some sort of higher awareness and higher knowledge that the universe was trying to get you to arrive at, right? You needed that maturity or that experience to realize what it is that you actually want and what it is that you don't want, to be able to recognize when the right thing is in front of you, when the right person is in front of you. So this is very, very, very exciting. And especially because of the unexpected, as I said, it's one of my favorite cards in the deck. And I just love that it is here, because it makes me feel of like soulmate energy. The way that these two women are they look like twins almost. They look like they are very, very closely linked. And it just makes me feel of this like Uranian energy, which is full of like excitement and surprises and just something that you don't see coming. And I really, really like that. But the thing that I'm looking at here with the taking risks and the movement, choices, decisions, it could be that the person who is coming in, or the situation that is coming in for you, where you are sort of presented with a decision of how you want to handle it, whether you want to move forward or not. It may be that you do need to actually put yourself out of your comfort zone. It could be that the person is somewhat different than what you imagined, or sort of surprises you in some way, or is unconventional in some way. So it may be that you are not actually going to be getting some very telltale signs that this person is like your soulmate and this person is the right person for you. It might be something where you have to like sort of take a risk, jump in and see what happens. Like that there are not going to be any guarantees, especially with the void card here and the dark moon. I feel like it is almost like going through the darkness and just relying on your senses and the whole experience to get you through. you can't really like prepare for the darkness. You can't really know what is going to be on the other side of that darkness, or how you are going to get through that darkness before you are actually there and before you're actually experiencing it. So that's what I feel like. It's almost like there is this level of mystery here as well, that I feel like your love life is going to be taking a turn for definitely a much more exciting position. And yeah, I feel like there aren't any guarantees here, but I feel like there is a lot of potential here, especially because of these two cards, which are the counterpart cards here. Now, it could also be that this person who is going to be associated with this decision that you have to make, it might be that that person is someone you already know, or is someone you have already met. But I don't feel like they are someone that you have had any sort of like romantic involvement with in the past. So for some of you, it could be that this unexpected energy is talking about someone who you maybe didn't expect to be interested in you, or didn't expect to have a situation with in this like romantic context. It could be it could be that for some of you as well. But just generally speaking, regardless of like what sort of person this is that is going to be coming in for you, or how this interaction between you is going to be playing out, I definitely feel like there is a sort of divine hand in place here with this higher power. This feels like a divine orchestration, or like some sort of key milestone that you are supposed to experience in this lifetime. And there is definitely, again, regardless of how you choose to go about it, because again, as I said, there are no guarantees. Nothing is like written out for you that that's the way that this relationship is going to go. This is the person that you're going to end up with and live the rest of your life together with. I feel like that is sort of up to you, and you get to decide how you want to go about that situation. Whether you want to take that chance with this person or not. But either way, it's clear to me that there is going to be a shift and some progressions when it comes to your love life, especially if you are in the scenario of the that you are single, and you have been single, and you have been sort of keeping an eye out for your right person, and you haven't really like maybe clicked with anyone for a while. Then it could be that is about to change, or there is going to be some sort of, again, exciting turn of events that you're going to be experiencing here. And the last thing before we move on to the tarot cards here, I'm looking at this taking risks card, and I think it's a hawk, or it might be an eagle. I don't know why, but I constantly mix them up. But anyway, both hawk and eagle are very divine birds as well. They're like the messengers of the divine. And so that's why I don't know, I find it very, very interesting that you're getting that symbology here as well. And even with this blue moon, like the blue moon card is talking about something that doesn't happen very often, or something that doesn't come around very often. It's a rarity. It's some sort of like an exciting opportunity that is special in some way. And with both of these like divinely inspired cards, there's definitely an air of divinity here. But again, ultimately, you have the free will to see whether you want to get involved with this person, whether you want to open up to this relationship and see where it goes, or whether you don't want to do that. But it's definitely very, very exciting either way. So pile number 3, let's look at how these positive changes, this exciting new turn of events, how is it going to be affecting you in the short term, and what kind of things is it going to bring in the long term? Okay, we have the 6 of Wands. We have the Fool in reverse. This is for the short term. And in the long term, we have the 5 of Wands, and we have the 8 of Wands in reverse. So let's start off with the short-term effects that these positive changes are going to have on you. Looking at the Six of Wands and the Fool in reverse, I feel like the thing that you're going to be feeling is this joy and pride that you haven't compromised on your standards and on your vision for that person that you have been sort of holding out for, waiting for. Because the Six of Wands is very clearly like, it's a card of having some sort of sense of accomplishment or a sense of having done something right. And with the Fool in reverse, it kind of just makes me think of all of the situations where you maybe used your discernment or used that like maturity and that past experience and sort of realized straight away that that's not something that you actually want, or that is not something that you want to invest yourself in, because maybe you don't see that ever working out in the long term. And so you haven't like gotten, as I said, you haven't gotten involved with someone just for the sake of getting involved with someone. And because of that, I feel like with these positive changes, you'll actually get some sort of like assurance about it, or a feeling of that was the right thing to do, and a feeling of being happy that you didn't settle for someone, you know, that maybe you didn't have that right feeling with. So you may be feeling a sense of pride and joy of having sort of gone about your love life in a very, again, level-headed way, and that you haven't done any like foolish endeavors or stuff that you know that doesn't actually make you feel good. And for some of you, it could actually even be that this person or this situation that is presented to you to like develop your love life in some way, it could bring about this feeling of like being really lucky or hitting some sort of jackpot, or just like we have this very, very beautiful depiction on this card, like finding the nectar or you know, getting the reward that you have been looking for. So I feel like the changes are going to make you feel good, definitely. And I don't want you to feel like in the long term things are not going to be good anymore, because I'm looking at this Five of Wands, and I know that it's somewhat of a, how should I say, like polarizing card. It can sort of go either way in its meaning. But in this context, I actually feel with the Five of Wands and the Eight of Wands in reverse, I feel like it's going to bring a whole new aspect or a whole new way of dealing with relationships that you maybe haven't had to experience or deal with before. Because I feel like you are probably not going to recognize these new dynamics and circumstances that come up for you, or these events that you experience, especially if you do choose to kind of take the leap and try something with whoever this person is that is going to be coming your way. Especially with the Five of Wands here, and because it's so incredibly depicted like a chessboard, and that's kind of what I'm feeling here as well, that you may be having to like strategize and play your sort of pieces right, so that you could sort of learn to compromise and learn to handle some more tricky situations together, where it's not just you yourself that you need to think of, but that there is this other person as well, or there may even be several different influences that you need to take into account when you are making some sort of decisions or trying to figure out a way through a situation. So I feel like in the long term, it's going to teach you something that you haven't actually learned in your past relationships before. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just going to be a whole new experience for you yet again. Because with the Eight of Wands reversed, it feels like it's not going to be as easy and sort of as effortless as just like pushing your will through, or just like going headfirst into something that you want to do. Or I just feel like it's going to not necessarily test you, but I feel like in the long run, you're going to be exercising some sort of muscles, abstract muscles that that you haven't had to exercise before. And I feel like it's again going to be feeding into that maturity of yours. It's going to be feeding into your skills when it comes to actually participating in relationships in like a healthy and equal manner. But I feel like it's going to take you to some unexpected places, again with the Eight of Wands reversed, where you may have to figure out how to delicately handle certain situations and work together with this other person or other people and find some sort of common ground. So yeah, whatever the situation is, and again, however you decide to handle it, I feel like there is definitely going to be a lot more like growing and learning and developing in new areas for you. But I feel like there is a lot of excitement, a lot of excitement here for you, waiting for you. Yeah, and again, I don't feel like it's just any old relationship potential being thrown in your way, because with the higher power here, and especially the unexpected too, I feel like there is some sort of divine timing, divine orchestration in play, and some sort of like contract, soul contract that you may have signed with this person before incarnating in this life. Yeah, so I don't know. Anyway, it looks very, very exciting, but let's see what are the last pieces of advice or important messages from Spirit to you regarding your love life. We have pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. We also have free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Okay, interesting. We're going to talk about them in a sec. We also have focus on love. Look for the good in everyone. We have turn on your heart light. Reflect on a time when you experienced love. And finally, we have demonstrate love. Find out what is important to those you love and act on it. Okay. So yeah, there is a lot of, especially in these cards, there is a lot of talk about opening up your heart and expressing your love and focusing on how to show it. So that may be some sort of advice that, especially if you are single and you have been single for quite some time, or you haven't been in a serious relationship in a while, then it could be that it's something you sort of may need to get like reacquainted with, or may need to get used to again. But now with these two cards here, with this pay attention to the red flags and free yourself. So starting with the red flags here, I just feel like it's a reminder to you to not lose sight of all of the sort of the discerning aspect of you, to still like keep your eyes and ears open to the things that maybe are like that maybe are either annoying you, or that they are making you feel a certain type of way, or that you know you have some sort of like doubts about. And I feel like it's also just like reminding you to still remember that you have, again, you have free will, right? You have the power to choose. As I was saying, even though this person, it feels like it's going to bring quite a lot of excitement, and it feels like it is definitely something that that the divine has a play in. So it's clear that it's not some sort of like any old random relationship that is going to be presented to you, or an opportunity that is going to be presented to you. But ultimately, it is up to you to decide. And if there are any sort of things that like tip you off in the wrong way, or that make you feel like you can't really trust that person, or you don't really want to let them in, then that is absolutely your decision to make. But at the same time, with this free yourself, I feel like it's also, this is such a contradictory message, but hear me out. I also feel like this is talking about this space of like, the space that is very, very easy to get stuck in, you know, especially if you are like looking, or if you are trying to find like the right person for you. It could be that like it's at one point very difficult to break out of that space where you feel confident enough or comfortable enough to let anyone into your like intimate or emotional circle. So it could be that maybe you have been in that space for a bit too long, where you have had lots of these experiences in the past, and maybe you have been single for a while now, trying to sort of like see who would match those criterias that you have. But maybe you have been in that place a bit too long, and it could be saying that it's time to like break out of that and sort of open yourself up to new experiences. But I feel like at the same time, it's like, it's not one of those things where, it's almost like avoiding the extremes, right? Keeping that balance going, where it's like on the one end of the spectrum, it can be easy to just stay in your comfort zone and not really let people get too close to you, not risk getting hurt or not risk being vulnerable. So that could be one thing where you may feel that there is a risk involved here with opening up to this person or this relationship potential. But at the same time, on the other end of the spectrum is this like getting fully swept up and sort of consumed by the emotional wave and by the excitement and by the potential of this relationship. And, you know, it's also kind of easy to get lost in that. So I feel like that's why these cards are here, to kind of remind you to keep it in as much of a balanced space as you possibly can, where you sort of don't get lost and don't swipe the sort of the things that are maybe not really okay for you or that you don't necessarily like under the rug, but that you also don't like close yourself off to sort of new experiences, especially if those are the things, like I was saying, that you maybe haven't necessarily imagined, or maybe it's not exactly, maybe this person is not exactly what you envisioned. So it's like, if you shut that down straight away because it's not what you envisioned, you could be saying no to quite a lot of cool experiences here. Because especially with these three cards in the middle, these are all talking about love and opening up to love, right? Focus on love, turn on your heart light, demonstrate love. And even with this, look for the good in everyone. It's like there may still be a lot of like hidden beautiful traits in that person. So again, it's like it's ultimately, again, I want to say it's ultimately up to you how you want to handle the situation, whether you want to take that risk and take that chance and see where this potential goes, or whether you don't want to do that. But I feel like it's almost like spirit is urging you to try to tap into that space where you used to be in love, or the last time that you were in love, and how that felt, and what were the good things in that, and what were the bad things in that. And especially if you have had sort of difficulty in the past or in past relationships where you haven't been too vocal about the things that you haven't been happy with, I feel like, especially with this, the signs are cautioning you, or pay attention to the red flags. I feel like this card is sort of like urging you to open up and express the things that are sort of not okay for you, or that you're not happy with, before they turn into something like bigger, right? So yeah, anyway, so that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling here. It's very, very exciting. It almost feels like a cliffhanger of a book or something like that, where ultimately the way that this story is going to go on is down to you and how you want to move forward in this situation. But there is definitely some excitement coming into your love life. There are going to be twists and turns and shifts. So yeah, expect the unexpected is kind of what I want to say here. Wow. Okay, pile number 3. What a Right. I hope that you enjoyed this reading and I hope that it was interesting for you and it got you buzzing about what's to come. But yeah, anyway, let me know in the comment section if this was your reading and if you are excited for the future. You can leave me a cloud emoji because of let's keep the cloud theme going. You can leave me a cloud emoji in the comment section and then I will know that this was your reading and that you resonated. And also, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and join my Feather Tribe so that we could hang out in the future and do more of these cool readings and you wouldn't miss out on them. And lastly, any information that you need regarding my Amazon wishlist, the decks that I've used in this video, and everything else that you may be interested in, you can find in the description box. So check it out if you want to. But yeah, if I don't see you in any of the other piles, thank you so much for being here and for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you spending your time with me and I truly hope to see you very, very soon in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 4. You chose the Carnelian stone, which is super, super, super cool because you can see all of the different layers and it's just, yeah, it's magical. So we're going to keep it over here and we are going to move straight on to your cards. So we are first going to look at the oracle cards describing what your love life has been like up to this point and what it is like right now. So you can kind of decide for yourself whether this resonates for you and whether this is the right pile for you. So let's jump on in. Okay, we're starting off with thoughts. We also have the path. We have happiness. Ooh, we have authority. And imagine. Hang on. There we go. We have self-love and pathway. The first thing I'm getting here is that at this time, I feel like you are in no particular rush to jump headfirst into some sort of random relationship and get married, move in, have children, do all of those those milestone things. I feel like you are in no rush to do that because it seems to me that right now your focus is much more on, and I feel like it has been on yourself, especially because of the, we have this authority card dead center of the reading and we also have this self-love and this happiness, and that tells me that first and foremost what is most important to you and what you most value is having this sense of fulfillment, having this sense of happiness and joy. And I feel like it's actually such a wise and mature way of going about your love life or relationships, because it's clear to me that you understand that the real quality relationships are the kinds where people honor and value themselves and they realize what they are worth, they realize what they bring to the table and what they want out of life, and they are not looking for someone outside of them to fix them, to fill some sort of void, to make them feel better about themselves, none of that. And I feel like you really understand the value of loving yourself and appreciating yourself and filling all of your emotional cups and needs and desires yourself first and foremost, and then sharing those emotions with someone else. So especially with the path and the pathway, this pathway specifically is talking about a very long journey, and it tells me that I feel like you're just in no rush. You're in no rush to tie the knot and get settled down and start living the family life. I feel like you're very much still wanting to see what life has to offer you and sort of have a very strong sense of knowing of what you are truly looking for in someone, what makes you truly happy in a relationship. And so this, it kind of it feels like you are on this path of discovery right now. And whether you are in a relationship with someone or not, even though it kind of feels more like you are not, I actually feel like how should I say it? It feels like your sort of focus is in a very healthy place, where I'm not saying that you are like completely the self-absorbed and self-obsessed person and that you don't care about other people or connecting with other people. But I do feel like you have a very healthy sense of self, and you sort of have this openness to like see what life has to offer you. And again, I just feel like you are in no rush to turn your focus on someone else or on like a family life just yet. Because we also have these two cards here with the thoughts and imagine. And so I feel like you may be in this space where, like, regardless of how many past relationships you have had, or even if you have had none, I feel like you are in this space where you're sort of trying to imagine what your dream relationship would involve, or what your dream relationship would be like, what sort of life you would want to live with someone, who would be your equal partner, who would match your energy, and what your like daily routine would look like, and like that sort of thing. That's what I feel like you are sort of trying to map out mentally for yourself, or you're like, it feels like that's the idea that you're playing around with. And I don't feel like you are necessarily looking for that very desperately. And again, I'm not saying that you don't want a relationship, or that you're not interested in getting in a relationship. Because obviously otherwise I feel like you wouldn't be watching this reading if you weren't interested in it. But I feel like you're just taking your time. You're taking your time, and again, you're not getting involved with people just for the sake of being in a relationship. There is something deeper that you are looking for, something more meaningful that you are after. And I also feel like you know that it's going to take a very specific and a very special type of person who would like match you and like, how should I say it, enhance your journey. And I feel like that's what you're really looking for. You're not looking for anyone to like weigh you down or cause you more problems or bring more stress into your life. I feel like you're looking for someone who would, as I said, like match your energy in some sense, or who would bring something more to the table, who would uplift your life and make it a more positive experience, who would be willing and able to walk this joint path of yours together. But at the same time, I don't know why, again, if you haven't been in a relationship before, then you might not really like see how this resonates, or you might not be able to say that it resonates. But I feel like if you have had relationships in the past, I feel like you have never really been the type of person who is like super clingy or super dependent. It feels like you still have a very healthy sense of independence in a relationship, and a very healthy sense of like self-authority and self-reliance, where you don't get lost in the relationship, where you don't lose your own identity. Like you're still your own person, and you still have your own things to deal with, and you still have your own hobbies and your own interests and your own loves and all of those things. But you can also like operate in a relationship at the same time. And I feel like you're kind of looking for the same thing from someone else. So maybe you're not even interested in any sort of like conventional relationship at all. Maybe you are more interested in like having an open relationship or something like that. You know, you may be looking for another type of relationship dynamic than what is like the normal or the traditional one. in the eyes of society, or in the eyes of your family, or your community, or your culture, whatever. But it just feels like you're still in the process of like figuring out what it is, and sort of envisioning what would that person need to be like to match your energy, and who you would want to like go down this joint life path together with. And again, you feel it seems to me that you are in no hurry to do that, and that you are in a very secure place right now, and you're kind of like doing your own thing and maybe you're focusing on your career or your studies, or you are trying to establish your own life, your own structure in some way first. But I feel like you are open to like new relationships or new people. But it feels like you have like certain criterias for it. Anyway, so if you relate to this part, if you recognize it, then clearly you are watching the right pile. So yeah, let's see what sort of positive changes are coming into your love life next. Okay, interesting. We're starting off with coffin. Please don't get afraid or scared or put off by that. We also have resilience. We're going to talk about these cards in a bit. We have illumination. We have the waiting game. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm just chuckling. It's funny. We have the fates, fruition, and high honor. Wow. Okay. So the most obvious message that I'm getting here, especially, let's start with the coffin card, but because it's usually the card that freaks most people out. So the coffin card is talking about some sort of transition or transformation. Some situation or way of being is going to be coming to an end, and there is going to be a shifting of energies, and something new is going to be taking its place. And so I feel like, especially because of the waiting game here and this illumination, I do get the sense that it's interesting. The reason why I was chuckling for the waiting game was because we were talking about how you are clearly in no sort of rush here. And it almost makes me feel that because you are in this space, because you are not necessarily desperately searching for someone, or you're not desperately trying to get in some sort of relationship, it feels to me like your sort of waiting is actually going to be like paying off in some sense, especially because of this fruition card here. And as I was saying with this illumination, it feels like you are going to be getting that like clarity, or something is going to be becoming a lot more evident and a lot more understandable for you. Because as I was saying, I feel like at this time you are sort of trying to put together this like mental image of what your perfect person would be like, what your relationship goals or dreams or aspirations are. And so it feels like the positive change that you're going to be experiencing is that you're going to be understanding or seeing what that is. You're going to be getting a clearer picture of what it is that you are actually waiting for, what it is that you are holding out for. And I feel like because of the Fates card here, it does tell me that there is, again, that there is some sort of fated or destined event that is going to be coming into your life that that you can't really like plan for, or you can't really prepare for either. It's just something that I feel like is going to be coming in its own time, especially because we do have the waiting game here. So there's not really any telling how soon this thing is going to be arriving. But I definitely feel like there is going to be a change because of this coffin card too, and because of this fruition. So I wouldn't really be too surprised if you do end up meeting someone, or someone sort of opens up to you in a way, or shows that they are interested in you, shows how highly they think of you, or how interested they are in you with this high honor card. it could be that someone makes it known to you that they are interested, and that and they like value you or respect you or that type of thing. So especially because, again, we had this illumination. So this illumination could be at one point talking about your own internal illumination regarding what it is that you are ultimately looking for. But it could also be talking about something becoming known to you that you previously didn't know. So some sort of new information coming your way. So it could very well be that someone says that they are interested in you. Again, especially because we had this resilience and we have this fruition. So I feel like this resilience, this strength, and this like you holding on for something real, and you like focusing on yourself and building yourself up with this resilience card here too. That is going to be like paying off now. That is going to be bringing in some sort of rewards and results for you. So either way, I feel like things are going to be shifting in your love life, and they are going to be bringing about some exciting movement, even though it may take a while. It might not happen very soon. It might not happen this month or next month, or, you know, who knows when this is going to actually manifest. Because again, because we have the Fates card here, which tells me that this whole like change that is going to be taking place for you is going to be happening on the divine's time, or according to the divine's time. It's not something that you necessarily have control over or power over, but I feel like it's not something that really like concerns you too much, because, or worries you too much, I should say. Because again, I feel like you are in such a sort of sturdy place with yourself, and you are so heavily focused on trying to get yourself and your life in a very like steady and secure place. So that's why I'm not too worried about you being very bummed about this situation. But yeah, with the coffin and the resilience card coming out together this way too, it definitely could be talking about this, like you needing to be this self-reliant and like self-sufficient. That could be like transitioning too, or there could be someone coming in who wants to offer their help to you, or who wants to offer their support to you, in whatever way. It could be emotional, it could be financial or physical, it could be even like mental, right? So yeah, it's just kind of interesting that things are going to be clearing out for you. The fog is going to be lifting, like we see on this illumination card. And again, the divine is going to be playing a role in this. So yeah, exciting stuff ahead, pile number 4. But let's look at what we are going to be finding out through these tarot cards next. So these tarot cards are going to be telling us first and foremost how these changes are going to be affecting you in the short term, and then we're going to look at how they are going to be affecting you in the long term, or what sort of things they are going to be bringing in the long run. We have the Tower in reverse. Wow, and the Emperor again. This is the Emperor card in this deck, but it's just labeled authority, but it's the same energy. So this is you in the short term, or these changes for you in the short term. And in the long run, we have the 10 of Pentacles and the Empress. Oh my goodness, look at this. The Empress makes me actually think of this self-love card for some reason. But even then, we have both of these beautiful, like, very abundant cards here with this fruition as well. So, oh my days. Okay. Wow. So the first thing that I'm seeing here, just to kind of sum these cards up, is that the fact that you are going about this whole relationship thing and your love life in such like a secure and mature way, and that you are so like focused on yourself and securing yourself first, it seems to be like exactly the right way to go about it, and it seems to be rewarding you in the end as well. But in the short term, I feel like because we have this Emperor card here, it tells me that like your sort of sturdiness and your like security, that is not going to be changing. Even though with the Tower in reverse here, there is going to be like slight changes and shifts again, because we had this coffin here as well. So that tells me that there is going to be a change regarding how you have operated in your relationships or how you have operated in your love life before, especially if you haven't really been involved with someone for a while, or if you haven't been involved with anyone ever, like in a serious relationship type thing. Then it's clear that this old way of being is going to be crumbling down. But because the Tower is coming out in reverse, it tells me that it's not going to be like this earth-shattering thing. It's not going to be, again, it's not going to be breaking you down. It's not going to make you feel all confused and hazy and like you don't really know how to go about it or what to do next. With the Emperor coming out upright here, it tells me that you are going to be handling this situation kind of like a boss, and you're not going to be like too heavily affected by it. It's not going to push you off course in any way. But I just feel like it's going to be sort of bringing some sort of change of pace, or it's going to be pushing you into a space where you may need to like set new structures or sort of shift your life around somehow to accommodate these new energies that are wanting to come into your life. And I mean, in the long run, this is just seriously, like, you could not ask for better cards than the Ten of Pentacles and the Empress in a love reading. I mean, some people may argue that the Ten of Cups is better, but with the Ten of Pentacles, this is like all of your needs being met. The Ten of Cups is the emotional aspect of it, but with the Ten of Pentacles, this is like you covering all of the bases, or making sure that everything is like as it should be. And because it's the physical and material aspect of life, especially coming out with the Empress here, it tells me that this is going to bring a lot of like abundance and security and a very, very strong foundation for like decades to come. So it feels like all of this waiting that you are doing and this holding out for something real and true and meaningful is going to enable you to have exactly that, something that is abundant and fruitful, a relationship where you can grow together with this individual, where you can actually create a long-standing future for the both of you. And it's because you are calling in, or you are attracting someone who would match your energy, who would be a secure and self-sufficient person within themselves as well. And so there wouldn't be any codependency, there wouldn't be any clinginess, there wouldn't be any like obsessiveness or jealousy or like any of those types of things that people can get like really sucked into in relationship contexts. So yeah, there wouldn't be this like heavy attachment, and you would both still have, like, as I said, this healthy sense of independence in the relationship. And that would allow this relationship to truly like blossom and grow and bring about all of this fruitfulness, right? And the Empress is like the fruitfulness that keeps on giving. It's that like never ending supply of fulfillment and prosperity and creativity and fertility and all of those things. So yeah, this is beautiful. And even if we get a bit more specific, and especially for those of you who are actually wanting a family as well, if you're wanting a big family, I don't know, it might not be for a lot of you, but if some of you are wanting a big family, then it could be that that's in your future as well. Going through this waiting process and this like becoming very, very sure and clear about what type of person you are actually wanting to have a relationship with. So this is very, very, very positive, pile number 4. And again, I feel like you got the best cards when it comes to how these changes are going to be affecting you long term. So there is a lot of future potential here, and a lot of very, very positive and blossoming energy Wow. Anyway, that's kind of the oracle and the tarot portion done, but we're going to close the reading out with some oracle cards from Spirit. So these cards are going to be giving you last pieces of either advice or important information regarding your love life. So what do you need to know? Okay, we have wedding. This situation involves marriage. Okay, I'm actually going to put it over here. And we have trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. Yes, so, okay, not surprised. Let's keep going. We have look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. Well, yeah, we clearly have strength coming through with both of these cards, with the Emperor coming out twice. I mean, yeah, you can't get any more strong than that. We have ask for help. What do you really need? Be willing to accept support. Oh, that is a good piece of advice for you, pal number 4. I definitely feel that. And love is all around. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, definitely just first and foremost, I feel like with this ask for help, this is clearly addressing this aspect of you where you are so incredibly, as I said, self-reliant, self-sufficient, where you don't really want to depend on anyone. You don't want to rely on anyone too heavily. And you have this massive, massive sense of independence and, again, resilience, right? This self-reliance. But I feel like a part of this shift that the universe is going to bring you is this awareness that you don't always have to do everything by yourself. As I was saying with this coffin, I feel like this time where you have had to do everything by yourself, that is possibly going to be changing and transmuting. So, yeah, you could be getting some very, very helpful assistance, whether you are actually asking for it and needing it or not. I feel like this is probably part of these changes, that the lesson in which you, how should I say, the part of the lesson is that you actually learn how to accept people wanting to offer you support and wanting to help you out. So I feel like that is a very, very, very valuable lesson, and something that will make your life a lot easier down the road as well. And I mean, look to your inner strength. Like, this is kind of just stating the obvious, so I feel like I don't even have to talk about that, because we've already covered how strong you are and how self-sufficient you are. But yeah, and I kind of feel like the divine is just saying things that you already know, that like, I feel like you are finding this love and this joy and fulfillment in your life in all sorts of different places, and you don't need a relationship to fill that void for you, or to tick that box for you. You can find it in all sorts of different places. But now, moving more directly to these cards with this trust and wedding, it's kind of clear that, yeah, the relationship that could be coming in for you is, well, first of all, it is definitely going to require you to have trust and to open up to this person. But, and also to have faith that like the universe is actually going to be bringing you what you need. But also with this wedding, yeah, you'd definitely, especially looking at these like long-term energies here with the Ten of Pentacles and the Empress, like this is clearly like wedding, or very, very, if you don't want to get married, this could just be talking about a very deeply committed and emotionally invested, like I'm all in, that type of energy with someone. So yeah, wow. Well, clearly you are aiming for gold, pile number 4. That's all I can say. And you are not really wasting your time with anything like less than. And seriously, good on you for that. You should be very proud. And I feel like looking at these cards, the universe is clearly letting you know that you are so on the right track here. You're on the right path. You got the path card twice. So you are on the right path. And I feel like all of this waiting is actually going to be paying off. But yeah, wow, pile number 4. I'm going to close it here. I don't want to keep like the whole thing going around in circles. I don't want to start repeating myself too much. So I just really enjoyed doing this reading for you, and I'm so excited for your future and the future of your love life, because it looks so incredibly promising, and I hope that you are happy and hopeful about it too after having seen this reading. If that's the case, you can let me know. Let me think. You can leave me a house emoji. Is there a house emoji? I'm not sure. If not, then I will put something else on the screen for you, and you can leave that emoji in the comment section. But anyway, you can leave me that emoji in the comment section, and then I'll know that this reading resonated for you and that you are claiming these messages and claiming in this future energy for you. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And if you did enjoy it, I would also love it if you left me a little thumbs up. It would help my channel out immensely. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and join my Feather Tribe so that you wouldn't miss out on all of these cool readings in the future. And other than that, any other information that you need is in the description box. My Amazon wishlist, the decks that I've used in this video, and all the other pick a card readings that I've made on my channel. You can look at all of that information there if you are interested. But please take care of yourselves, pile number 4. If I don't see you in any of the other piles, be good, and I am wishing you all the best. Bye-bye.